Hi students, I'm just so excited to start this year with you. This is your biology course and we are going to start out with some lessons. We're actually going to spend almost 3 full weeks on just the process of photosynthesis and how it makes sense in the world around us. So while we're going through this unit, I'm actually going to be showing you some of the features of the textbook as we go through it. So bear with me as we learn both the textbook and about photosynthesis in this lesson. So this beginning part of the textbook, you can see I'm on a tab called Engage. Some of the background information about the topic that they're talking about. So here in this lesson, it's talking about photosynthesis, and it's basically saying, you know, how do plants survive? They're everywhere. What are they eating? You know, some people have the misconception that plants are maybe eating dirt, but they're not actually eating dirt because it's not like you have less dirt in your yard every year than what you had the year before. So how are they surviving? What are they eating? And then it's talking about, you know, even if you eat meat, for example, if you eat chickens or cows or even eggs, ultimately that animal first got somewhere further down the food chain, they got their food and energy from plants. So plants are really fundamental to our ecosystem. So you can see here that there's a yellow part here that's highlighted. It says, how do plants provide you with energy you need to live and grow? I thought that was an important sentence. So I went over here to my, oh, I'm sorry, that's not it. You can highlight an area. Say I liked this sentence, but we can't easily see all the complex processes that are happening inside all the plants. If I thought that was an important sentence, I can highlight it in whatever color I want, and my text is highlighted, and every time you log in, those highlights will be there. If there was an important question there, I can actually make a note. This is important. And I can leave that there. And when I click off of it, that note will always be there. Okay? And then another really cool thing is that if you have a hard time like reading out of a book and it's just easier to have it read to you, you can also use the feature to speak text. So I'm going to select some of this and have it speak it. Okay, and it's not the best voice, okay, but it does read it. So I'm going to have it do that. Oh, sorry.
Sometimes, it's difficult to believe that plants are living organisms. Do plants move? Do plants have needs to survive?
Okay, so it will actually, and I don't know what the drag feature does. Let me see what that does. Oh, that just drags this box around. Okay, so you can have it read to you if there's some word or something that you don't know. So there's a couple cool features here. Another cool feature that I want to show you is that you could print things, okay? But here, this one is really important that you know what it does and then probably stay away from it a little bit. So on this one, I have set the whole class to have a default in level A. That is the easier reading level. I can take this same exact text, and if you felt like it was too easy for you, you can move to level B, and it'll take this same information, just make it slightly more complex in the reading level. So if you feel like you'd like a more complex reading level, then you can choose language option B. The content is the same either way, so it's not like you're getting less with level A and more with level B, it's just the reading level. Additionally, should you have a need to use the Spanish, you can read it in Spanish. Or if you just want to make your life really hard and you don't know Spanish at all, you could take biology in Spanish here and read it that way if you're just bored in life. So anyways, that's an option. But I kind of want you to know what this does. So if you're ever looking at this going, this is a lot harder than it used to be, and you maybe accidentally clicked over here, you can go back to reading level A if you're interested. Over here, I don't need to show you these other things yet, and so we'll just go ahead and keep going down. Okay, so here it's talking about, consider how the animal is getting the fuel that they need for their processes. How are plants getting that energy in the first place, and what are plants eating? There's a cool video here that you can watch, and we'll watch it together right now.
The sun is the source of most of the energy in living things. In fact, solar energy sustains life on Earth. The sun transmits energy to Earth's surface in the form of electromagnetic waves. These waves transfer energy through radiation. Plants on Earth convert solar radiation into food by way of photosynthesis. Green plants absorb sunlight and use it to turn carbon dioxide and water into sugar and oxygen. The oxygen, along with some water vapor, is released in the process. In other words, growing plants use the energy in sunlight to build organic molecules, sugars, out of gases in the air and water from the ground. Photosynthesis is the base of all food chains. Animals eat plants for nourishment and energy, and humans and other animals, such as the cheetah, in turn eat those animals. They consume the organic chemical energy and store it as potential energy.
Okay. Sorry for the violence there at the end, but the lions need to eat too. So basically, that video was basically summarizing the fact that plants are getting their energy using light energy to start the reaction. They're using carbon dioxide that we breathe out, and other things actually give off carbon dioxide. They're using that carbon dioxide, and then they're also using water, and then using the energy from the sun. They're changing that in a chemical reaction to basically sugar and oxygen, which we end up using. So that's awesome. Plants are in a good relationship with us. So this process is called photosynthesis. And the chemicals that plants use to make the reaction happen are called the reactants. The products is what it actually makes. So specifically in photosynthesis, the reactants, the chemicals that it's using are carbon dioxide that we breathe out. It's actually a poison to us, and water, and then it's giving off oxygen and sugar that we use. Those are the products. So then we're going to watch a little video called Photosynthesis Overview and Introduction, and we're going to actually watch this one together as well.
Photosynthesis is an essential, life-sustaining process which takes place in plants, algae, and certain protists. It uses captured light energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into stored chemical energy in the form of sugars, while releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. Looking at its most basic chemical equation, we find that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide react with 6 molecules of water in the presence of light to produce 1 molecule of the sugar glucose, C6H12O6, plus 6 molecules of diatomic oxygen. In reality, photosynthesis is not quite as simple as that. In fact, it is carried out in 2 distinct series of complex biochemical steps, known as the light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis and the light-independent reactions of photosynthesis. In many ways, photosynthesis is the key to life on Earth. Its importance cannot be overstated, because photosynthesis is responsible for creating essentially all of the food and all of the oxygen on our planet. So without it, most living things would soon cease to exist.
Okay. So going back here, I want you to notice here that in this chemical equation, the 6 CO2s and the 6 H2Os, this half, can you see this part of the equation? This part would be the reactants or the products. Which one would this be here? These are actually the reactants. That is what plants are using. It's using carbon dioxide and water mixed with light. And well, not mixed with light. It's using the energy from light. I need to make sure that that's clear. This is not a reactant. Light is not a reactant. That is just an energy source to make this reaction happen. And then the C6H12O6, that's actually glucose. Glucose is a sugar. And 6 O2s, that means 6 oxygens, and that's 2 oxygens combined together, and then there's 6 of them. So those are called, which of these 2 words? Reactants or products? Those are the products. That's what's produced. So the reactants are the things that basically, if you were doing chemistry here, the reactants are what would have gone in the test tube, and the product is what would have been the end result. So remember those words. Okay, this explain question that you see here in each chapter, this explain question, I want you to keep a notebook in science. And the notebook, I want you to continually keep just adding to it throughout the year. I'm not going to look at it, but I want you to be able to show your EF, and I want you to reference back to that and study it. Here's an explain question. The explain question is really the big question for the chapter that you're trying to learn throughout the chapter. And remember, we're going to be looking at this for over 3 weeks. So maybe leave a page or half a page at the beginning of your notebook with photosynthesis written at the top, and then this explain question underneath. Can you explain the steps involved in converting sunlight into energy that's stored in food, and compare the process of cell respiration and photosynthesis? And then you don't need to answer this first day, but as you go through the chapter, make sure that you're going back and adding to that. Maybe in this case, drawing out the equation, maybe drawing some pictures. There's some awesome photosynthesis pictures if you just Google search it. And for right now, I'm going to end this video just so you get a good start on how to start looking at this tech book.